Welcome to Marble Halls TV, and this is a day too late, granted, but all the same, I'm going to review our transfer deadline dealings. So you can see here, this is from Sky Sports. So the ins for us, um, Odegaard, obviously from Real Madrid on loan to the end of the season. Omar Rekik, to be honest, I don't know much about him. Um, Talaji Bowler, again, I don't know much. Well, the end of loan, sorry. Um, Hertha Berlin, obviously, that's where what's his name, Guendouzi is, and obviously Matt Ryan came in a couple of weeks ago. As for the outs, Mesut Ozil, Fenerbahce, Ainsley went to West Brom yesterday. Willock went to Newcastle yesterday. Mustafi went to what's his name, Schalke yesterday. We know about Saliba from a few weeks ago. We know about Kolasinac from a few weeks ago. We know about what's his name, Socrates from last week, was it? Matt Macy left to Hibernian in Scotland, obviously. Daniel Ballard, loan extension. I believe he's either a defender or midfielder. Matt Smith's gone to Charlton on loan. Zach Medley, shit, he's still at the club. Um, Obviously he's a defender. He's in Scotland too at Kilmarnock. Um, so if I had to rate this transfer window, I think it's a mistake to think that we're due a madness. Well, not due, that's the wrong word term to use, but we can do a madness. Um, I think that's unrealistic in the transfer in January. Yes, we got a Bamiyang, but I think the big players you're going to get in January, or at least top level world class players, you're going to get in January. Generally, are going to be players that who are like disaffected, like Sanchez was with us, Aubameyang was at Dortmund. So if I had to grade it, yes, we got rid of some of the deadwood, as it were, but then we also got some of the um, you know Odegaard looks like he can possibly do something, even though it's so. I'd grade it probably a five or probably a six, I'd say, because we did get rid of some players who, let's be honest, are not adding value, for want of a better term. Um, and yeah, um, that's that really. Um, as for the specific, um, as for the specific signings, sorry, specific people who left on deadline day, um, just bear with me a moment. I want to talk a bit about them. So, firstly, I want to speak about uh, Mustafi. Now, so hopefully you can see all of that, obviously from the articles from Talk Sport. But I want to talk a bit on length about Mustafi. Now, obviously he's gone to Schalke, right? Um, you know, how can I word this in a way that is not? Look, I don't want to be disrespectful. Obviously, Schalke. Sorry, Mustafi has not been an outstanding player at Arsenal. I think that is a fair comment to make. But I wish him all the best. I think the thing with Mustafi is that if I had to give praise his strengths, I would say I think he's committed. I think he's mentally strong because he look he must know. Well, he's not a fool. He's not blind. He's not a fool. So he must know all the stick he's got for being, shall we say, less than good on occasion. But he rolls his socks up. He tries, and occasionally he does play well. I'd say out of every 10 games, he probably plays three or four. Probably say three very well. It's just he has a. I think the issue with Mustafi is that he has a concentration problem. I think in his raw technical game, um, his raw technical game, um, you know, um, I think he's not that bad. He can head, yes, he's physically strong, he's not really he's pacey, but you know, I think ultimately what lets him down is his concentration, that he has issues reading the game, and ultimately for me that is what you know undermines him. I think he may do better in Germany. The German game's probably slower, and this, often often psychologically can be about environment too. So yes, Mustafi, when we signed him, he did come in. I wouldn't say hype, but he was £35 million in 2016, and yeah, I thought he did well. Well, initially he did well, but then you have to say he tailed off. And for me, I think not the best of defenders we've ever had, but I generally do wish him the best. I won't cuss him or slag him, but I do wish him the best at Schalke. So thanks for your service, Squadran. But ultimately, and I think this is a fair statement, not being harsh or unkind, but you were not at the level. But all the same, you were committed, and I wish you all the best. I genuinely do, in the Bundesliga with Schalke, in your home country, no less, Germany. And as a good note, I'm going to leave it here with this picture. Now, this is a goal that he scored. Well, a goal after, the celebration after he scored against Tottenham. We won 2-0 in the 17-18 season. Obviously, that was at home. Well, you can tell from the stands and the stuff, right? So yeah, he scored the first. I think Sanchez scored the second, and yeah, it was a good win over our good friends from the Borough of Haringey. So thank you for your service, Skodran, and all the very best at what's his name, Schalke. Now, next up would be Maitland-Niles to the West Brom. Now, I'm not sure what to make of this, to be honest, because Maitland-Niles, I think, is a better right back than Hector Bellerin. He's a better right back than Hector Bellerin, in my honest opinion. I think he's physically stronger. I think he can read the game better, and I think he's a better wing back than Hector Bellerin too. That's not to diss Hector Bellerin, but I do believe he does offer more in those facets of his game. So in that regard, then he hasn't really had much of a look in this season, apart from the Europa League and the odd league game, a cup game. But I think Ainsley has the potential to be a good level Premier League player. He's an England international, and he's still young. Look, you can see that he's 23. So you say in midfield, yes, you can say West Brom aren't the most footballing side, but even still, we'll see how well he can do. And as I say, I think he has the potential to be a good level Premier League player. I generally do. So hopefully Ainsley Maitland-Niles can get the development that he needs in his preferred position, because it seems for whatever reason he's not going to get that at Arsenal. So I wish Ainsley all the best, obviously, that he can come back to the club, because I personally wouldn't want to sell him. I personally wouldn't want to sell him. But yeah, hopefully he does come back and he can do his stuff accordingly. And as of the deadline day, last but no least, Joe Willock. Now, the thing with Joe Willock is that, personally, I don't think he's good enough yet for the first team. He does have... The thing is, I'm not saying this to disrespect Newcastle even, but Joe Willock, for me, I don't see how he would even contribute to Newcastle. he'll be on a par with some of their players. But if Bruce were to utilize him, well, I'd say just like he is at Arsenal number 8/10, that he can get forward, drive with the ball. I wouldn't say he has that creative spark like a Mesut Ozil did, or I don't know. But he can, in a way, his game is similar to that of Aaron Ramsey's when he was at here. That he can get forward, drive with the ball, but I think he is a bit more technical than Aaron Ramsey. Um, and yeah, I think if he gets game time, maybe it can be good for him. So Willock for me is not the level, and I think he did need a loan, and a Premier League loan at a big club like Newcastle. Um, I think he can. I suppose he can add value. I don't see why not, but I don't think he's at the Arsenal level yet, to be honest. So hopefully this can develop him, and I think overall is a very good move in that regard. So I think that's everyone. So yeah, thanks a lot for listening, everybody, to this transfer deadline day show. And I'm going to do a preview of the Wolves Arsenal game for today. I know it's late, but yeah, I have to apologize for that. So thank you very much.